Hello, everyone, and welcome to O Words News and Media platform. I'm so excited to have you here again for my second video. And we have with us someone very special today from a very young, vibrant, and student led organization called Urvari. Hi, welcome, Sia Gupta. Hi, Sia, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, yeah, I'm fine. Good to have you. And we're going to explore the topic of a second life for plastics, the recycling and upcycling. That's the topic for today. And as mentioned to you, even in my first video, I am looking at any subject, any topic related to environmentalism, conservation, climate change, or minimalism, or sustainability through the prism of four simple basic steps. One, I am going to address the kind of collective anxiety we feel towards a certain problem or an issue. Number two is looking at the individual action which needs to be taken. Number three is the community transition which is happening toward through that pilot project through that individual, through that initiative. And number four is a wider ecosystem impact which it needs to bring, scaling up, replication of models, etc. So that's the idea, because I wanted to be very systematic, going ahead. So looking at this, first of all, let me address the eco anxiety of plastic pollution itself. There is an article which was brought about by the United Nations Environment Program in 2018, which spoke about a certain number, a certain data around the plastic pollution. And I am going to just read this up for you so that we have the foundation and base of the eco anxiety we feel for this topic. So going ahead, the first point the article made was that mammoth 1 million plastic drinking bottles are purchased every minute across the globe. 1 million. Number two, 5 trillion single-use plastics are used worldwide in an entire year. And because of these two and maybe many other, kind of plastics, this has been leading to 300 million tons of plastic waste every year, which is equivalent to almost the weight of the human population. So, bringing us to the kind of anxiety we have, that are we going to live on mountains of garbage? Is it that's the future? So this is what we're going to kind of address, and talk about certain solutions, solutions which are being brought about by organizations like Urvari. Okay, so Sia, let's go ahead. My first question to you is, first of all, let's understand what is the difference between recycling and upcycling. If you can clarify this for us, this is just first part of the first question itself to you.
Sure. So recycling means using something again for the same purpose that it was intended for originally. So suppose there's a plastic bottle. I drink out of it once. Instead of throwing away, I refill it and use it again. That's recycling. What upcycling, on the other hand, means is making something better out of your original product. So, like the wrappers that we use them to build an eco-brick shelter because they are multi-layered packaging. So it's very difficult to recycle them. So what we did was we made shelters out of them. So a change in the design to make something better is essentially what upcycling is.
Great. Simply put, and I think art, design, and architecture have a very huge role to play in the future of plastics. It has a huge role to play. So, yeah, going ahead. Now, I'd like to, you to answer this second part of the first question. Is what has been Urvari's role in bringing individual action into the journey of sustainable development?
So one of the main aims of Urvari is to make environmentalism easier than it already is. Because not everyone will go out or can go out to participate in cleanliness drives or plantation drives. So what we do is we bring environmentalism at home. Even before the EcoBrick shelter, we used to distribute compostable pads to spread awareness about menstrual waste and provide an alternative for it. We're currently distributing bamboo toothbrushes. So right from when you wake up at home and brush your teeth, you're thinking of environmentalism, right? And then we went on to EcoBrick shelter. Eco bricks are so easy to make. They don't require anything, just the waste that accumulates at your place. Instead of instead of throwing it away so that it goes to the landfill, you're filling it in bottles to make something beautiful out of it. So we essentially make environmentalism easier for everyone so that everyone can participate into it, because the world doesn't need 10 perfect environmentalists. It needs a million imperfect environmentalists. So that is what we're aiming for.
Yeah, that's quite that's such a profound thing to say and a sweet thing to say at the same time, because it all starts at home, where from a very simple activity in the morning when you go into the bathroom and open the tap to brush your teeth. It starts from there, right? So I think that's it's a journey, and we are somewhere not even in the middle of the journey, but we're somewhere there. So great. My second question to you is that in terms of community transition, how are you trying to bring that through your very first eco brick dog shelter? Because that's something so kind, compassionate, and full of gratitude, because you as youngsters are not just thinking about the humankind, but also about another species, which is also part of our lovely beautiful home earth.
Right. So we expect to bring a community transition by inspiring the people around us, especially students, because we think that students are the one who can bring about change. They are the ones who lead change. Currently, Greta Thunberg is leading the change in the environmental uh, aspect of it. So we hope to inspire people, give them an upcycling option, because currently the plastic recycling options that we looked into, they were mainly you need to collect plastic waste till there is a recycling drive. You need to wait for the drive. But ecobricks, you don't need to wait for it. One ecobrick contains so much of waste. It reduces the volume of plastic waste to a large extent. So we are giving an easy option of recycling to communities, and we eventually aspire to build a self-sustaining system where there are collection points of eco bricks all over the city, and so that collection also becomes easy and dropping off eco bricks also becomes easy, so that we can eventually upcycle all the plastic waste that we produce.
Great. All right. So now coming to the third question. So let it be, these recycling, upcycling. These are waste management solutions. Rather than filling up the oceans or landfills, we're trying to kind of, try to increase the plastic carbon footprints. Right now, and I know there are challenges there. So, what do you think are the major challenges? And in terms of bringing an entire ecosystem impact, a wider impact, how are we how are you trying to think about the future of solving this you know gigantic problem of plastic solution, because these are huge numbers, these are millions, trillions, and so how are we thinking about that, so a little about that.
Okay, so I'll speak a little about Urvari's journey to put into life the challenges faced by us. So 1 year ago during monsoons, we saw that dogs didn't have shelter. There are organizations working towards feeding them, but shelter is a huge problem in terms of permission, in terms of place, everything. So we said, okay, let's build something out of ecobricks. And then we realized we were very few people. So we built 10 ecobricks a month, a very slow thing compared to the goal, which was 150, which we required to build a shelter. And there's a hopelessness that comes in. There's an anxiety which comes in, because the statistics which we have in front of us are huge. We have statistics like there'll be more plastic than fish in the ocean by 2050. And we're trying to beat that statistics by building 10 eco bricks. So there's a sort of hopelessness that comes in, but it's necessary to stay inspired and motivated to rise above it. That's one challenge we face. In terms of people, we've had amazing people on our team. We've had, now that the eco shelter is built, we have even more volunteers willing to be a part of the change. But in terms of the animal shelter, one more challenge that we faced was familiarizing the animals to the shelter. Because once the shelter is built, you have to make sure that dogs think that it is a safe space for them. You have to give them food for the first few days, make them sort of comfortable in that area so that they proceed to use it in the future too. So that was quite a challenge, but we did it. And as for a permanent solution to the problem, recycling and upcycling is great. What we're doing is great, but it's just a temporary solution. It's not a permanent solution. The permanent solution is to find alternatives to plastic. So just imagine a boat. If you're all on a boat and there's a hole in the floorboard, just imagine recycling and upcycling as pressing your hand as much as possible on that hole so that water doesn't come in the boat, right? That's what recycling and upcycling is. But finding a permanent replacement to plastic is actually repairing that hole in the boat. Otherwise, we'll all drown. That's our only option. So we are looking for replacements to plastic, and we eventually hope to replace all the plastics, at least in the communities around us, and in the pan India level, if everything goes according to plan. So yeah.
Yes. So I think wow, that was a great symbolism you gave for, the boat with the hole, and, how we try to stop the water. I think that was great. And I think, you have a long way to go. This seems very perspective. It seems a very self-sustaining kind of a project. Yes, I think what we need is good collaborators. As they say, one is, the power of one, but, when people get together, it's the power of a team. So I think it's, as the team grows, and I would wish the very best to you. Let us know how we can help you in the whole process of sustainability development. We'll kind of try to see how we bring in collaborations and find synergies also. So all the best to Urvari, all the best, Sia, to you. Thank you so much for agreeing to be here.
It's an honor to be here, and you're doing great work.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, there's a long way to go for all of us, but I think let's work the same way. We are trying to look at the data. I think let's measure up our kind of experiences and our availability for each other's issues and problems in terms of the eco anxiety we hold. So thank you so much, Sia. Take care. All the best, Urvari. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.